Dana. Oh, wait. I recorded it. You approved? Valerie's here.
No, I'm recording it too, I guess. Hey, Val. Can she hear?
Hello.
Oh.
Hi. And if everyone hasn't met each other, Vicky, I know, is one of the, like, it's a newer thing. First caller, right, to be on? Vicky?
End of June.
Like, big call like this or no?
Oh, no, this is my first time ever.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Well, we do these every Monday, and they kind of cover different content. And Dana is covering today what she said she was going to cover. And I'm I would love for there to be more of this. So whoever is having success with something, Dana volunteered, which is awesome. So does everybody know each other? I know if you don't know Dana, she and I met through work. Sorry, Dwight's cooking me dinner, so my microwave's going off. But Dana and I met through where I work, and then and she is a go-getter in the sense that Dwight, please, I'm serious.
The two of us, it's like you can't.
I can't. I went to dinner. There was a birthday dinner the other night, and I was sitting right in between them. I could not look straight or think clearly. So this is why I'm serious. Okay. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is Dana is a great leader and a go-getter, and she's not on the team calls often just because I know she's running her own business. She's often doing her own messages and power hours and all that, or traveling for her day job. So Dana, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before maybe you go into the content and maybe like a little snippet of your story and what you like about coaching and all that.
So
if that's okay.
said, yeah. We met, I don't know, like 2 years ago. I immediately just signed up to coach because I saw what Maria was doing on social media, and I kind of wanted just direction, and actually didn't really know that coaching was a thing at the time, but signed up. It was right after the 21-day fix came out, and I had Shakeology before, but really only thought it was like a protein powder and didn't realize how awesome it really is and how much more than that it is. But I kind of dabbled here and there. I got certified in TurboKick and PiYo pretty quickly after I became a coach, and then I've been kind of on and off, like dabbling. But I would say since January, I've been pretty consistent, especially with my posts on social media and running ads and reaching out. I mean, I can always be more consistent with invites, but I'd say that it's definitely made a difference being consistent, especially on social media, posting every day, running challenge groups and stuff like that. And I work full-time for Stryker in orthopedics and sales. So I'm traveling all over the place a lot and in surgeries and all that fun stuff. But yeah.
I would say I'm excited for her to go over the social media because I have seen hers grow. And like she reminds me of myself. But I remember when I was consistent with social media and finally saw it kind of manifest. And now it's in a position where your social media, it's an interesting thing because you want to ramp up that branding and you want to get people seeing your stuff. And then it's kind of an interesting cycle where maybe it feels like nobody's looking at it and you're kind of like getting ghosted. And then you really build up momentum. And then that momentum might kind of dwindle down afterwards. Like I'm in the dwindle down, but very like behind the scenes I'm getting a bunch, but the likes are less just because it's less new and it's less exciting. And I still got to work on the algorithm stuff, but I'm noticing that kind of where Dana is at that cusp, at least in my analysis would be she's at a great cusp where especially if you're newer, you want to get to a point where your stuff is just being seen and that consistency needs to happen before your stuff gets seen. And I've seen her social media really grow and really be effective. And so her sharing tonight what's working, and she's uncovering stuff that I don't even know, just with her marketing and ads and exploration. So I'm excited for her to go over that. But yeah, if you want to go into the specifics, because you outlined what you're going to go over. So I'll just let you take the floor.
Sure. So I will say I'll start first because I was going to say my experience with ads, but let's start first with just the importance of either having a like page that's public or making your personal page public, because if you want to reach another audience and outside your warm market, you've got to have your, like, that's what really changed for me. I listened to a call from Chelsea Pearson, and she talked about how having her personal page, for a long time she didn't have a like page, but putting her personal page on public. So people can still follow you even if you don't accept their friend request. So at first, and Maria knows it was trial and error, but I was accepting pretty much anyone that had like a couple mutual friends with me. And I ended up getting too many like creeps and too many kind of just pretty much like all dudes. And then when I'm showing up on their friends, people you may know, which is how Facebook does it, but that's not necessarily the people that I want to attract. And I'm not, for my business side of things. So I think what I kind of realized was I kind of now have whittled it down to, if I don't have 10 or more friends in common, and I kind of look at the friends real quick just to see and look at their page, then I just don't accept it, but they can still follow me, and I have a like page for that reason. So I will say though, the more people I have accepted and the more people that liked my stuff, it's getting seen so much more on my personal page. And that's also because of consistency. And I think that also helps when I do reach out to people, even in my warm market, they see that I've been doing this now, consistently posting for, I would say about a year, give or take, but they see that and they know it's not just, oh, she's just trying to sell me a product. I'm really showing that I am proof, because I am doing the workouts and I'm being consistent, and I share my story here and there and all that kind of stuff. But that's a whole different topic. But so I would just say make your profile public. However, I know those of you with kids might not want to do that. I completely get that. But I would highly suggest then having a like page separate. Just to reach people that aren't in your warm market, where it doesn't feel like everyone has a coach or everyone knows what Beachbody is. Because that's, I think, what we all run into is there's so many coaches out there, and really in your warm market, there are. And so let's see what else. So what I have tried to do on my like page recently is post more specific fitness and nutritional stuff on there. So I just recently went from linking when I share on my Instagram to Facebook, that's going to share to my like page first. And I just started experimenting with that. So I don't know how exactly that's going to pan out, but my posts are being seen so much more on Facebook and Instagram on my like page, since I've been more consistently posting and boosting ads, which leads me to the ads parts. And I don't know, you want me to screen share? I don't know if that's beneficial.
Because I looked at Dana's, if you look at her Instagram, it says sponsored on it. And that's been like my big, I know Julie's doing that. And I'm not sure if we kind of touched on this, but what Dana and I are coming from in perspective, like we experienced at Summit, which is just Facebook, and all social media is going to have an algorithm that prioritizes what people want to see. So it's about being creative with, like, you'll see, for me, pictures of weddings and pictures of babies and pictures of like something really interesting and new is always going to win. And Facebook's definitely making that happen. Instagram has kind of always been that way, I think, but Facebook has adjusted some things to make it so that if you have a popular post, it's going to be seen. So we basically just have to work really hard at not being redundant. And that's where Facebook and Instagram ads is what we know we can control. And I just want to make sure that people know why we're talking about this, because if you're not running into it yet, or maybe you don't know that you're running into it, it's not that you're not. So your stuff isn't getting seen. It's just that social media is smart, and they're making it difficult for businesses to take over, which is good. So if you're creative like us, which is what we're working on, then you can make it through that obstacle. Sorry, Dana, I just want to provide some context. So
no, you're good. And Marie and I talked about that too. Like sometimes it does, sometimes it does feel like you're putting stuff out there and no one's liking it, no one's seeing it, and you're like, okay, are people? And then when you reach out to them, then I do get feedback that's like, oh, I love watching your post, but they're not actively liking or commenting, which kind of sucks, because if they're not actively liking and commenting, it doesn't up your algorithm to show Facebook that more people want to see it. But that's besides the point. In my mind, I know people are still seeing it, which is good. And that's where the Facebook ads will tell you how many people actually saw it. Whether they liked it or not is one thing, but they actually saw it and it went out to this many people on their newsfeed. So that's a great component to it. But I will say last week I don't really know, like if something switched, Marie and I are trying to figure it out, like something switched in the background, because it used to be when you would run an ad on Facebook, it would say like, do you want to run this on Instagram as well? Or like Instagram would offer some separate thing if you want to boost your post or something on Instagram. But I just did it on Facebook last week, and I think it was my health bet one. And all of a sudden I was getting like all these likes on Instagram, and I'm like, what? Like usually my stuff for challenge group ads or posts on Instagram don't get that many. It's just like here and there people that are like, good for you or whatever, just whatever, supportive people, but usually coaches or whatever. So I kind of looked into it, and what I did is I have a target audience that I've been boosting to. I've tried a few different things. My target audience that I usually just go to right now is people who like your page. This is Facebook. People who like your page and their friends. So it goes out to those people. But I did change, because if you do people who like your page and their friends, for me it was automatically defaulting to Indianapolis within like 40 miles, which to me, I'm like, I want to reach more people than that, because again, I mean, there are plenty of people in every state and every city, but if I'm going to pay for an ad, I would like to reach outside of that, because I do have a lot of friends that like my page that don't live in Indiana.
Right.
And I don't really know exactly how that breaks down, but that way of doing things, making sure I change it to the US really helped. I have tried to do, Maria and I talked about this, and it's really, you have to just play with it. But I have tried to do, a specific audience. And I did watch a training, I don't know, about a year or so ago. Some Beachbody coach, her husband did the training and just showed you like the top Facebook ads, what people spend. And the one that happened to be popular and that worked really well was, she was, something like you did, Maria, before your wedding, sweating for the wedding. And like how moms will do like a post-baby group, and they really target specifically to like people who are engaged right now. So that's kind of an easy one to get specific on. But you can drill it down to the smallest things. You can do age demographics, you can do gender, you can drill down to race, which is crazy to me. You can drill down to interests, locations. So it's kind of tough. I don't know, Maria, what your experience is too with playing with that. But when I've tried that, it kind of getting really specific is good. But for me right now, I'm trying to build more on my page so it gets seen more regularly anyway. So what has been working better for me, so that I don't get people who are like, 15 years old in high school, you know what I mean? Or I don't get people that, they're all the internet trolls. Like everyone, you're going to get some of those in there. But
oh yeah,
I don't know what you found, because I found when I ran maybe I wasn't specific enough, but when I did run a few where I did the demographic, it's hard because I think it's kind of hard because I wasn't specific enough with the categories. So like I did like health and wellness, or like whatever it was, weight loss or something like that, which I think those are still too broad. You know what I mean? I think it's better to get even more specific. Because what were you saying the other
What
night?
I've noticed, Yeah, what I've noticed, so I've been playing with it, and so the reality is I've been like looking for YouTube trainings on this stuff because it's changed, and it's not like it's this obvious thing. And most people, like Shailene, I think she's still figuring it out. Otherwise, she would have a podcast about it already. But she will advertise. You should be doing the marketing campaigns. But Dana and I have both been in our comfort zone. So what I've done is like I've got my personal page. I move all these people that I add on my personal page over to my like page, and then I create these regular posts, and then I've boosted them. And I've been very selective with what I've boosted them. And the reality is I haven't been posting much on my like page because more would be seen on my personal page. Now things are changing. So I'm exploring how I really need to do the like page. And so it's good. It's good that that's been something that I've been doing. And the boost is nice. I would say the boost is great for your warm market. So people who are following you, your friends. And so to explore that, but the advertising and stuff, clearly we're trying to figure it out. So what's worked for me, there's definitely some weirdos, which sucks, but that's just what you're going to get. But what has worked for me is if you guys ever see any of the ads, like are you guys seeing that like when you're going through your Facebook news feed or Instagram, like a sponsored ad? Are you guys seeing that like sponsored and then you see it? It might be hard for you to pay attention, but look for it. And when you can do sponsored, you can say, why am I seeing this? Like click on the sponsored part and why am I seeing this? Yeah, right in the corner. And it'll say women who CrossFit or women who are in Indianapolis. So I've been looking at all things and seeing that. And so it's just something that you play with the Facebook ad and you find audiences that make sense. So what I've done is I try to think of like-minded similar things. So like, and this is what people do on Instagram too, is they'll look up anybody who hashtags Tone It Up or Jillian Michaels or whatever. And then they'll like create a relationship with them and kind of like, hey, you should check out this. And so when you do a Facebook ad, you can basically say people who like Tone It Up, people who go to the YMCA. I was talking to myself there for like 10 minutes, I think.
Did it kick everyone out or just me?
Oh, it kicked me out too. Did everybody get kicked off?
Okay, but it came, okay. Because I got a thing that said my internet was unstable or something, so and then it kicked me out, so I was.
Yeah. I thought I was just talking to myself.
It says it's still recording everything, so that's good.
Yeah.
You've been recording.
But anyway, that's just something that I've been experimenting with, and I'm getting a lot of likes. So, and I haven't reached out to these people yet because I'm kind of what I'm imagining. This is what I'm just like assuming the top coaches do is they do all that, and then they're very selective with who they reach out to, and then they're like, okay. Is that what you're doing?
My next point, because so that being said, you do get. So like my last one, which I don't know, I can go look. Let me see what my last one, I can make sure where I boosted it to, because I think I changed it part of the way through because I was getting, kind of a lot of people that probably wouldn't join in. So I'm looking at my Health Bet Stronger Everyday one that I shared.
Can you share your screen, Dana, just so we can like. Yeah.
What do I do? My desktop? Are you guys seeing it or what?
Not
right here, probably. Share screen. There we go.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm looking at this one. This was the one that I boosted that went to Instagram and Facebook. I'm looking at the results. So my total spend was $15. Let's see, full summary. I only did it for 2 days. So yes, I did. My age, I don't think with this audience that I I think I tried to change the age, but if you're doing people who like your page and their friends, it kind of automatically goes to the age for you.
Right.
But I did people who like my page, see, as you can see right here, or connections of people that like my page.
Now, was your Instagram linked to your like page when you posted this?
Yes, but it wasn't so, yes, but it wasn't the one that I was like sharing. So you know how on Instagram when you click share,
Mm-hmm.
if you click share, you can put in which account you want to share to. I had this Facebook profile, this page linked, but it wasn't the one that my Instagram at that time I was sharing. You know what I mean? It was sharing my personal page. So if I put a post on Instagram of like my workout or something, it was sharing to my personal page, not my like. However, this ad still shared because I think it was because this was linked to it either way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not but I think it's been linked for a long time. I don't know. I think something changed because it used to be where like they would give you the option to promote it on Instagram as well, but this automatically did it, which is nice. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. Let's see. So then here are like the audiences that I saved in here. So like, I don't know what this default audience is, but there's like a health, and I just like created, that one's just, I don't know what that is. But like, here's this one, location. This one was kind of like, I got some good, but that is the thing. I think that you just gotta, with these kind of ads, when you do the targeting, I think I should have been more specific than just this. However, you know, it is all, you kind of learn in those kind of things too. You can edit your boost and stuff while it's going. So if you're like, hey, this is not what I want, this is the kind of people I want to reach, that's a good thing. You can edit your boost or your ad while it's going, which is nice.
Right.
Where is my, because I think it did show, oh, so
How
that's,
does it show like so is this an event? So the event is, and then it shows who's going. I have a hard time finding when I do these ads, who is going. I guess you just click on it.
what do you mean? Like, oh, if you go to your event,
go in there and see who's saying what. Yeah.
who's like actually going, or these people. And so these are like, just because I advertised, that doesn't mean it only reached 143 people. I boosted the event. That doesn't mean I invited those people. Like, I went in when I created this event and did invite, and then went through my list and kind of looked at people who I thought would like to go, and then I went back through and sent a personal message to them. Yeah. Now, what I was going to say about the advertising, whether on Facebook or on Instagram, what I do is, because you do kind of get, a lot of times the biggest thing I think I end up getting is younger kids, like high schoolers, which is, I mean, 18, I'm sure, but obviously I'm not going to reach out to them right away, because I'm not going to go have them ask their parents to, you know what I mean? It's not going to be like my first thing to reach out to. But what I kind of went through, I can show you on my Instagram. I don't know if you can really see it on here, but I'll try.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that Instagram post.
Yeah, so I'll just show you. So like, I'll show you the one that's going right now. So this is my one. Can you guys see?
No.
Sorry, I need like. So it's the one that I boosted that said, "I bet you can, stronger every day." It has 97 likes, which never, like I told Maria, when I was getting the likes on my other one, I was like, oh my gosh, like no one likes my stuff this much. So it was crazy how much more Instagram people started to see my page or my post and liked it. And then, you know, when people go to interests in here, if you go to the search and interest, that I will pop up because they're liking that, which is nice. That's the way hashtags work as well. But so like my likers, so here you can see like everyone that liked it, just like normal, and then see like who you're friends with already. So what I did on the last one is I went through quickly and just like looked, and I'm like, okay, this girl, kind of like some of them are private and some of them you can tell are like, she looks like she's probably in high school, but
Right.
like you can go click on them, you can see if they're a coach, you can, and if they look like someone that maybe isn't a coach or someone that, you know, has a page, like this girl looks pretty cool. Like she looks like she's a blogger. She follows one of my friends that follows me. She doesn't look like she's a coach, so I would follow her. And then what I did on here on Instagram would be go and I would send, I can tell you exactly what I said, just like a brief, you know, thank you for liking my post, kind of make something personal about their page, you know, find something, maybe ask about like what they do, and then kind of ask and say, see you something, you know, were you liking it? Were you liking this to be supportive, or did you have interest in more or something like that?
Right.
So that's kind of, I don't know if that answers your question, Maria, but like if you go, and the weird thing is if you go to so if you're looking at your Instagram, and if you click on the little like guy in the right hand corner that shows your page, if you click on that actual post that I first put out there, so before I boosted it on Facebook, that one is only showing 12 likes. But if I go to the heart tab and go and click on it, showing 97 likes, and it lists all those people.
Yeah, I guess I'm still confused as to how the Instagram has, like, so the Instagram post has the 97 likes, and you posted it off of Facebook, off of your like page, right?
Yep. So I posted on my like page, and then I did a boost, or, you know, and I did it to people who like my like page and their friends.
And then that was so it was linked to Instagram, or the Instagram post
It
linked,
automatically,
and then you boosted it. Okay. So the boosts, so anything you boost on your Facebook like page is going to kind of boost it on Instagram too, is basically what's going to happen.
Yep. Which is not, it didn't used to be like that. It used to be what changed. And that's why I was like, because normally it would give you the option. I just never had invested in Instagram ads because I just didn't know really how to work it, or I didn't, you know, I just didn't really look into it. But now that it's the same, I don't know if it's the same demographic per se, but I will say that at least people that I am seeing on there, it looks like they're people that, it looks like they're people that at least have someone that they're friends with that liked something of mine at some point. I don't know if it's that, I don't think they're all following me, but.
Right. Well, and that's just what we want to share with people, is that clearly Dana's either landed on, you know, accidentally, or she's done it on purpose, but she's experimented with it and invested like $15 just to learn about it. And so that's stuff that I've done. That type of mentality is what can take you outside of, if you're kind of like wondering, why aren't people looking at my stuff? It's kind of like YouTubing social media tricks, or picking up points from people who you see that are doing well. And so we're definitely, you know, experimenting with it. And yeah, I think something that could help maybe Valerie, Vicky, Mandy, and Aisha, if you look at what I really like what you're doing, can be applied to like a warm market, which when we say warm market, like your friends list. If you go to like your personal page, or even on your like page, the fact that you're doing that like daily countdown, or the daily, you know, what day you're on, I really like that, and that you're doing that. But you've consistently been doing that, I think.
I just switched it a little. Like I switched it, I think. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You've always posted that you've done your workout every day, but I really like, she's doing a good job of journaling the program that she's doing. And so if you want to show them, I don't know if you guys follow Dana, all of you, but
can you guys see my page right now? This is my like page, but let me go to my, I don't know, my personal might have, like, you can see more. But so this is where you can see I started sharing my Instagram directly to my like page, and then I would share it from my like page to my personal page. But I will say, sharing it, I think what I'm going to do is post it separately still, like still have my Instagram share to my like page, because that's that's getting more people looking at my like page.
Right. Especially if you boost them.
But these are getting seen less when I share it from my like page to my personal page. So I
Right.
think what I need to do is just post it separate, which is fine.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing, I think, too.
But like this one got a decent, amount. I
Nice.
shared it from my like page. See, this is like something where I shared like containers and how they work. I shared that on my like page because it is more specific, and that might get people to go click and see what I talk about on there. These kind of posts too, I know you guys have seen these. This isn't anything crazy, but when you try to get engagement, that helps too when people are commenting. So like I just said yesterday about like working out barefoot. You know, you see people ask just random things too, like, do any other moms feel this way? And like, the mom ones always get like so many people because it reaches. Like it's really what's
I wonder if Facebook says, "Oh, you put mom in there," so
right.
you never know.
But like, so this one I did share. This one got some, but like, so this is different too, because I used to post like with my workout pictures, which this has been helping me. I used to post like a lot longer, like motivational thing, and now I'm kind of like, that's going to be my quick post. And for this program, like I do post and make it real too, and sometimes share like a little bit of the story with it, but because no one wants to just hear about how awesome your workout was and how you love to do it every single day, because they're going to be like, you aren't real. You know, I mean, but yeah, so like this is what Maria's talking about. I would just like, that's another one. And so I think the consistency is like what people are seeing.
People just love that it's always been clear that you're doing a program, but I love the numbers and how that's just,
And I
absolutely copy it for whatever next program I do completely. Because it just, without saying anything, it says I'm doing a program and this is day 5. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I didn't think of that on my own. I copied off of the top. By the way, I kind of made my own little twist. I don't know exactly what she put out with it every day, but I was like, oh, that would be perfect to do for the 21-day thing. And especially promoting that I'm doing a free group with it and like a 3-week push, so people know that, you know, you don't have to spend money to work with me. And, you know, sometimes those free groups, like this has been the most active I've had. But I will say the biggest thing to do, and like Maria said, and what I had done in the past that was silly, is like I would boost just so I could get more likes, and then I wouldn't go back and kind of comb through who liked the posts. And so then it's kind of like, okay, well, I just spent $30 to get likes. Like, that's silly. I didn't reach out and look at who's liking that and say, and thank them. And, you know, whatever it is, at least reach out. It's kind of like, what's the point of paying to advertise if you're not going to reach out to those people? But it kind of gives you, it's nice because you do get some Beachbody people, and you do get some people that, you know, maybe have heard of Beachbody. But I think the biggest thing that I feel, and when I was talking to Joy about it too, like, one, it takes time and consistency. Like, I have been posting consistently for a while, but that the ads and the Facebook, the algorithm and all that is constantly changing. So it's like always going to be something you can learn and play with. And like I said, if you spend, let's say like 10, like I think I've spent like the most I've spent on one is maybe like $30.
Good.
But that being said, I don't even know what one I did that on. It was probably one that I didn't go back and actually reach out to people. But
yeah, I think that's something that, you know, we all can get better at. Like, I'm still exploring it myself. Like, I'm great with my personal page, but the like page is more just experiment.
It's like you already have people that are seeing your like page. So it's like when you post on your personal page, when you post on your like page, you're like, oh man, what if people don't see it? But
right.
Still can post it. Like, what I've just realized, like, I'm still going to share it and still going to post and kind of just experiment with it, because I feel like that's the only reason, or that's the only way I'm going to reach other people besides, you know, those stats that we saw at Summit of how many people still need help with this kind of stuff. And, you know, they might connect with me, they might not, but I think the the biggest thing is just getting your stuff seen to begin with to another market, so you don't get potentially discouraged and feel like, you know, everyone that you're friends with that currently on Facebook has a coach or is trying to program or something.
Yeah, I just love that you're rolling up your sleeves, experimenting, and that really is just, it is what it is, and that the people that do well in this business, like Dana's worked really hard at this, but and, you know, like she said, she's had her, like, you know, ins and outs as we all have, but in terms of me physically seeing that consistency come through, it's always like when people are like, your social media just all of a sudden, and it's kind of like, I've always been working on it and I've had lots of likes. It
takes time.
Now you think I've made it or whatever. So I definitely feel like you're at that point where I'm seeing just that grow. So clearly what you're doing is right. So if anything, I mean, I know there's some new coaches on here, or like people who are still trying to figure out how to even just apply their journey to social media, or even just to their friends at work or whatever. I mean, do you guys, Aisha, Vicky, Mandy, do you guys have any questions on, now that Dana's been doing it for a year, or me or myself, or
I've been doing ads for a year, just to make that clear. Like, I'm having some success, so I thought I would share kind of what I learned about a year ago, and that's even changed since then. So I just think it is experimenting, but I will say consistent posting is key, and it's hard at first, especially because you feel like you're like, at least with me, I was like, does anyone really want to see this? And I was that person that's like, oh my God, these people are posting their workout selfies every day. I'm like, now I'm that person. but I try to make it relatable, and I try, the more I've made it relatable, and the more I kind of at least like share a little bit of my story. Or the biggest thing too that I realize that I have to really do is reply back to comments on my stuff. It's not even like major comments, but even just something little, like as long as I just reply back and say like, thanks or whatever, because it's like, you know, if I think of someone, you know, if Shanti's finding the time to reply to some people, like I can certainly find the time to reply to the one person that commented on my thing.
Absolutely.
Just because it's like that takes time. Like liking is one thing, but going in and commenting on someone's stuff like that takes an extra step. And so I think showing appreciation for that, that helps.
And it helps the algorithm too. Like hands down, if
you're
having discussions back, and like Shailene talks about that, like public discussion. So even if it's one person commenting on that one picture, as soon as you message back, I mean, it's as silly because we've worked at Angie's List, which we always tell our companies, like, it is a public display of how you treat your customers. And now social media is the same thing. So, I mean, that is one thing that I know I have lived and breathed by. And when Gary Vee talked about that at Summit, he was like, especially with the top coaches, there's like, I looked at all of you guys and there's so many comments that haven't been replied to. And I think that there's kind of an excuse when you make it so big, it's hard to get back to everybody. But I think that that's hopefully something I can always keep up with. And
well, the other thing I did too, Maria, with like same regards, like is starting to kind of ask for the business at the end of a lot of my posts, which I didn't used to do because I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm just selling something. But like, I always try to turn it into like, you know, you're worth it and something like that. And it's not necessarily always like, you should join my team, but it's like a way for them to reach out to me, and like how you can reach out to me quickly and easily. And I think that has helped a little bit too, just showing that I'm not just doing this for just myself. Like I think it helps maybe even just me take myself more seriously in the business, that knowing that there is a bigger reason behind why I'm posting these workout pictures or sharing my story or something like that. But I will say too, like when I share my personality more and I post like funny stuff, which is kind of like, sometimes I don't know if like people find it funny. Like those are the ones like, shit, that takes my thing like up immediately. It's like sharing yourself, and it's different than sharing like a deep story. And so it's nice, I think, that I've found a way to keep it light a little bit.
Definitely.
I don't know. It's just, there's different things, and everyone has, that's the best part, is every one of us has our own brand, which is ourself, and how we style things, and we can take an idea of someone's and like a top coach and put a spin on it because clearly it's working. Like those that day countdown, like it's working. And I will say though, today after I follow like Instagram Impact Academy or something, and it was like, don't post your hashtags in your original like post because it looks like you are just trying to spam or advertise, which I was like, okay, that makes sense. So they say, which I'm going to do differently now, post it in the comments underneath. So all those hashtags, post it underneath, and then that's not the first thing that shows up.
I've even seen, I'll do the hashtags, and this is something to build off of what Dana does for sure. I have like a little notepad that I've saved on my phone, and I copy and paste. I need to diversify, but for now I'm just lazy and I use the same ones. But I've seen some people like, so I don't know how they do it. I still got to figure it out, but they like do da 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 da. So like you can't even see it. Yeah. And then they put the hashtag.
Danielle always does that. I don't know.
Who does it?
Danielle Natoni.
I think they don't want people to copy their hashtags, and they don't want it obvious that it's out there. So, but I know we're saying a lot of, not that it's high level, but we haven't figured it out, but we're just creating a discussion on it. But I think that for me, that's what I want you guys to get out of this, is that Dana is just rolling up her sleeves and figuring it out. And it's been a year of her experimenting, and she is for sure. It's kind of like when you don't know how to write a paper, and then all of a sudden, 4 years after high school, you can write a college paper. It's like you just learn how to edit yourself, and you get more smooth and streamlined, and you learn from your own experiences. And I'm not the coach that's gonna be like, your video is too long, but like your videos have naturally become more, you just listen to engagement. And so that's clearly improved as you've been a coach.
You can tell on the videos too. Like when I do a video, if you ever watch them, I don't edit stuff out. I mean, maybe I should make it shorter, but I'm like, I just keep it real. And that's, I think, the benefit of why people like live videos. But I think I've gotten a lot better at knowing a little bit of what I'm going to say and like having my ideas in my head and kind of sticking to that, because that way I'm not just rambling about nothing. But with my posts and what you were saying, Maria, is you realize what people really want to see. It's not just what your own agenda is and what you want them to see. It's kind of, what do people want? What would I want to see? How would I? And that's one of the biggest things is like, so someone invited me, I think, to like Rodan and Fields or something to be a consultant. And I was like, hey, I already have a friend that's my consultant and whatever was super nice, and just mentioned Beachbody, like completely was like, I fully support you. I'm also out of marketing, like it's hard work. Mm-hmm. And she never responded back, and I'm like, man, I probably have done that to someone before, and it's kind of like, that just doesn't feel very good. And it's kind of like when other people have do things that I have done, it's kind of like, or I don't get back to people as quickly. I've gotten back to people more and more quickly now, because I'm kind of, like I said, a binge inviter, which can be really tough because then you get a bunch of problems that you have to have. Yeah. So it's practice, but it's also thinking about how, if this is something I want to take seriously as a business, that I need to get back to people and treat them like they are all my potential customers, whether or not they are or not, and not even just that, but I want to be, I told Maria, like digging deeper into myself and what I can improve on in certain things. And I know like my response time needs to be better. I need to be a better listener. And when I'm actually reading their responses, to really get into and listen and look for what they want instead of having my agenda in my head. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's improving, and it's just like we all talk about, it's kind of just failing forward, and you just figure out what works and what doesn't, and you learn from it, and you take from other people what you wouldn't, maybe from other, you can thank them because it's kind of, something that I've done, but they're reaching out to me and then they don't respond or something. And it's kind of like, oh, that doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
it's kind of one of those things that's like, shoot, I know I've done that. It's hard to look at yourself and be like, I've probably been that person that's made someone feel inadequate because I didn't respond. And it's like, that's the last thing I want to do. I'm in this to help people, and as we all are. So I think I've just, I don't know, changed a lot of things.
Yeah. And you wouldn't know that unless you put it out there and learn. So I think that's to encourage you guys as you feel like I know I've heard, oh, are people looking, or what do I say to this person, or no one is commenting. I think it's just to give you that encouragement. How about specific, like Aisha and Vicky, have you guys encountered anything, or Mandy or Valerie, by putting it out there? And like, I guess, are there any questions that are coming to mind that you're just stuck on when it comes to social media, or how to translate things onto social media?
No, not really. I do agree on having your own like page, because I'm starting to feel like my personal page does get a lot of attention, but from mostly my friends. So if I want to reach out to other people who are not within my circle, then I think having a like page would make me feel a little bit more confident, because right now my personal page is kind of private, and I'm a little hesitating to put it public, just because I don't want creeps to look into my profiles.
Right.
So I think the next thing is having a like page would be good to kind of give it a little bit of a separation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you need help, Vicky, if you need help at all setting that up, I can help you, and like you can invite your friends to like that still and all that kind of stuff. So you can still get your friends on that page, and that can be like your public page.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need any help, let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I also want to comment on posts that get a lot of likes and posts versus posts that are not. I do believe that Facebook does something to them, because, for example, this morning I put up a health bet post, but that one, like, I mean, usually my posts get friends likes, pretty relatively quickly. This one did not get maybe 1 or 2 likes at all. So Facebook must have done something to it, because the picture that I posted was from Beachbody. So
yeah, I swear. So there's the combination of people seeing it, being like, oh, that's that one that looks spammy, versus, oh, that's Vicky's pretty face or whatever, right? So there's that natural reaction. But then I know that I almost think Facebook is like skimming through anything that's multi-level marketing or business or not legitimately personal. Like they'll show weight loss stories like that got like 80 likes or something awesome. So they love seeing that, but they don't, as soon as it becomes really businessy, or you've done enough of them or something, because like my social media, it's kind of sucks. Like it's just, or they used to just, people would see it in real time. And now it's like they're going to bury things until people
scroll through them enough.
It's hard to predict, but it changes. Like I almost heard, this is horrible, but I heard that they were like, I forget who I was hearing it from. There was a time where they were kind of like experimenting with posting more life or death type posts, like losses and tragic. I mean, funerals are the same as weddings, or is the same as babies being born. Like if it was in that pocket, they were experimenting with. Now that's what it is. But I remember when they were first experimenting with it. And anyway, so that's just a reality, which is cool, because you can leverage personal moments in your life and totally, sell your soul. No, I'm just kidding. But like my manager, so I found out this past weekend he cut off his finger. He sawed off his finger, and so he's not going to be back to work. We don't know what, but anyway, I'm just like,
cut off his finger.
I'm just thinking his social media. If he posted that on social media, like,
get
it was horrible. That's just
on accident.
Yeah, he sawed it off.
Be like, always. That's
On
like
accident.
People post pictures of, like people that post pictures of like spiders and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So if there's something,
like, people, like comment and stuff, and
it's literally like going viral and then getting engagement. Like, even though the Beachbody health bet post I made, and it was still my face, but it was a very specific business post, And I also think that there's something to be said for 2016 consumer or social behavior. Like if you think about Snapchat, like everyone's just looking and not engaging. Like, I mean, engaging, but not like they're not liking, and they're only
and they're not really
watching. Yeah,
watching. Right, exactly. So for Facebook, I feel like people are just watching more and then messaging behind the scenes. They don't feel like they need to like. They don't feel like they need to comment below unless.
So true, because and that's the thing. I think it gets. Maybe that's where Facebook's changing the algorithm a little bit, and that's why like certain things are different because, and I think why more people are maybe seeing it. I mean, there's got to be something that changed because I haven't done much different on my like page, and I've gotten a lot more from my ads in the same market. But that being said, it's so true. So many people, like, just imagine, like, I go through and I actively like a lot of people's stuff just because it's in my mind. But even then, it's like so easy. You just click. But like, people just scroll all day. I like forget that people see my stuff. They're like, oh, I saw you posted this on Facebook, or like it'll be someone from work and they'll be like, oh, like they'll just give me a hard time. Like, oh,
they're too lazy to like. They're too lazy to like.
But and like, I don't even know. I completely forget that they're seeing that, and they are. And just like people, when I reach out to them, they are seeing my stuff and they are supportive and they're super nice. Like there is rarely anyone that's like, F off, don't message me. You know what I mean? Like people really aren't like that. They usually, if it's a no, it's a nice no.
Which goes to say, and that's something that I think we might know, like Dana, Valerie, myself, that we've been doing social media long enough. We're like, okay, it's not enough. We need to reach out to people. Cause then you do get that feedback and it is true. Like people and marketing, I mean, we know like Coca-Cola still markets, even though everyone knows Coca-Cola, and people constantly have to repeatedly. And I was telling Melissa reached out and had a question about the budget thing. And I kind of just mentioned, I don't get the budget thing as often unless it is, I'll probably get a lot with the like page exploring that. But now that I have a warm market, like Aisha knows that I wouldn't post something if I wasn't really serious about it. And she probably wouldn't insult me because we're friends to message me like, tell me all this stuff. And then, oh, I don't have a good enough budget. Like she knows me too well and my family too well to think that I would be like lying to her. But then somebody who doesn't know me would assume that I'm lying to them, basically, probably, or my self-interests are led with that. So with time, I was telling Melissa, you just got to continue to have those conversations and work with them on how you help people with their budget. I gave her specific examples, but a lot of it is, I'm fresh, I don't know you, I don't trust you.
It is. The budget thing is like a lot of times, and gosh, I mean, I'm not rolling in the dough by any means. I completely sympathize and understand. And I'm kind of glad that I have had this like a little bit harder financial situation than I used to, because it really does help me understand more of like people going to their husbands and saying, hey, let me just talk it over with him. Like, because one, that's a partnership. It's not like he's saying like yes or no, but like when you are married or something, like it is something that you discuss because it's something, whatever, your money's together. But like, and the other side of the coin is people who I have told me that they don't want to spend the money and they don't think it's worth it. And then they try it and are hooked on Shakeology and see that I have been able to coach and stay in touch with them in whatever facet, I guess. I think it just helps you come full circle. And most people that I've asked to join me don't jump right in the first time, even if they've been following my stuff for a long time. Most people don't. Like it is, you have to build that trust and rapport. And I know I have a girl, actually Kelly, Maria, she used to be a coach. She did the PIO with us that one we were at like a long time ago. It was live work, you would know. But anyway, so she's doing some other multi-level marketing, and she's like always been someone that you can tell like she watches my stuff and she really makes it personal. And like every time she's reached out, like I'm pretty much like right now I can't like afford it, but like I have found a need now where like because it's kind of like jewelry and motivational kind of stuff, and I'm like, that would be really cool to give as like gifts for my coaches someday. But because she stayed on top of me and because she's always like checked in and it's not always been like a sale, hey, do you want to buy now? It's been, oh my gosh, I saw this happened. Are you okay? Or it's just like those little things, and not necessarily just like commenting on a post, but actually messaging and showing that you care, which yes, that takes extra time and again, patience, but she's been like, now I'm going to use her because I want to do something special for like the Brooks situation for him, for his mom and his aunt. And I'm like, this is perfect timing because it's Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month in September. And like, because she kept reaching out to me, she's the person that I would go to 110%. Even though there's probably other people that sell that stuff, it's like, that's the benefit, I think, of really not giving up at that first no and really kind of building.
Yeah, like you said, focusing on the relationship. And I kind of joke, like there's always the people like, you might be more lean or more pretty or whatever, but like I'll work harder than you. I kind of have a thing where I'm like, I just won't give up. Like it's not even, people probably work way harder than me, but if I'm the last one standing, like I just know not everyone's going to continue coaching. Not everyone's going to continue this, but I'm in it for the long haul. I've been doing it for a long time. And I just love it so much that if I feel confident that 5 years from now I'll still be a coach, provided, Beachbody doesn't, whatever. But that's just something I know the numbers. Not everyone sticks with this. And maybe because I've seen it long enough where people are like, oh, I was a coach, but it didn't last. And which is all good. I mean, but if you're not going to go anywhere and you stay focused on relationships and you learn and fail forward and figure out your social media on your own based on your own experience and engagement and ask us what works for us. And that's the kind of stuff that a year from now you might not have imagined. Oh, we have less than a minute. But anyway, hopefully I really appreciate Dana being on the call today and sharing her social media tips. And really, I hope you guys just know that she's a resource to reach out to. And as an example of somebody who's fine-tuned her social media over the year. And I see it, and maybe you guys will. But thank you, Dana, for sharing everything that's worked for you. And
yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I'm not an expert by any means. To Maria, I'm like, but I would love to kind of share what I have done that's worked and see if it can kind of help you guys. And I'm sure it's overwhelming at first because it was for me too, but just kind of like we said, fail forward and kind of all figure out what works and we share it with each other.
Awesome. Well, before the awkward cutout, I'm going to take a picture real quick. You guys can feel free to smile. And,
let me look pretty.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. We're all awake and paying attention all of a sudden. Cool. And then Dana did this, and I think the recording, so maybe she'll be able to post it for us when she gets some time. I know it takes some time to download